biting wind cut through Jack's thin jacket. He huddled deeper into his makeshift cardboard shelter. Hunger gnawed at his stomach. Despair clouded his mind. Another night on the streets, another night of struggles. Suddenly a shadow fell upon him. A young woman stood there, a warm smile on her face. In her hands, a steaming cup of coffee and a sandwich.
"Here," she said gently, "I thought you might need this."
Jack's throat tightened with emotion. He hadn't felt the warmth of human kindness in what felt like an eternity. He accepted the food, his eyes welling up. "Jack, thank you," he mumbled, his voice hoarse. The woman sat beside him, sharing stories and listening to his tale. She didn't judge, didn't pity. She offered compassion and a glimmer of hope. That night, huddled under his thin blanket, Jack couldn't shake the woman's kindness. Her words echoed in his ears. Everyone has a story, and everyone deserves a second chance. A spark ignited within him, a flicker of hope he thought long extinguished. He didn't have to live like this. He could change. He would change. He spent the next few days at the library using their computers. He researched small business ideas, something he could manage with little investment. An idea struck him. Ice cream. Everyone loves ice cream. He found a used ice cream cart for sale, a bit rusty but sturdy. He used the last of his savings and, with a deep breath, took the first step towards a new life. The first day pushing his ice cream cart through the park was daunting. Jack battled self-doubt and the fear of failure. People walked by, barely glancing his way. His heart sank.
"Mommy, ice cream!"
The mother smiled and bought her son a scoop. The boy's joyful smile was infectious. More customers trickled in, a group of teenagers giggling and sharing cones. An elderly couple enjoying a sweet treat. Each sale, no matter how small, fueled Jack's determination. At the end of the day, he counted his earnings, a broad smile spreading across his face. It wasn't much, but it was a start. He had a long way to go, but he was on his way. Days turned into weeks. Jack woke up early, the sun barely peeking over the horizon. He prepped his cart, his heart filled with purpose. He learned to anticipate busy hours, to offer friendly service, to make his customers smile. He faced challenges. Scorching summer days melted his ice cream faster. Unexpected rain drove customers away, but Jack persevered. He bought a cooler, a sturdier umbrella. He adapted and learned from every setback. He started recognizing regular customers. The jogger who always ordered a mango sorbet. The young couple sharing a sundae on their weekly date. He was becoming a part of their lives, a familiar face in their routines. Section 5. The kindness of strangers. One particularly hot afternoon, Jack's ice cream cart broke down. It was the peak of summer, and the sun blazed down mercilessly. Jack had been pushing his cart through the crowded streets, hoping to sell as many ice creams as possible to the overheated pedestrians. Suddenly, the wheel buckled, sending scoops of melting ice cream tumbling onto the sidewalk. The sight of his precious stock melting away in the scorching heat was heartbreaking. Despair threatened to engulf him. Jack felt a wave of hopelessness wash over him as he stared at the mess. He had worked so hard, and now it seemed like all his efforts were in vain.
Suddenly, a group of teenagers, his regular customers, rushed to his aid. They had always enjoyed his ice creams and couldn't stand to see him in such distress. They helped him gather the scattered cones and napkins. Their laughter and chatter brought a sense of normalcy to the chaotic situation.
One of them, a lanky boy with a kind face, pulled out a wrench from his backpack. He had a determined look in his eyes, ready to tackle the problem head-on.
"My dad's a mechanic," he said with a grin. "Let me take a look." His confidence was infectious, and Jack felt a glimmer of hope.
Within minutes, the boy had fixed the wheel, tightening bolts with practiced ease. His hands moved swiftly, and it was clear he had done this many times before, and offering words of encouragement. Jack was overwhelmed with gratitude. He couldn't believe how quickly the situation had turned around. The kindness of strangers never ceased to amaze him. It was a reminder that even in his darkest hours, there were always people willing to lend a helping hand. Jack realized that he wasn't alone in this bustling city. There were good-hearted people all around, ready to support each other in times of need. This experience renewed his faith in humanity and gave him the strength to keep going, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Section 6. Rain, rain, go away. Rainy days were the worst. The once bustling park, filled with laughter and joy, now stood silent and empty. The vibrant colors of the playground equipment seemed muted under the gray sky, and the cheerful chatter of children was replaced by the steady drumming of raindrops. The park emptied, the cheerful chatter replaced by the steady drumming of raindrops on his umbrella. Jack, the ice cream vendor, stood under his small canopy watching the rain fall. His heart sank as he saw the empty benches and deserted pathways. Sales plummeted, leaving Jack with a dwindling inventory and a heavy heart. Each rainy day meant fewer customers, and fewer customers meant less income. He had bills to pay and a family to support, and the relentless rain was making it increasingly difficult. One particularly dreary afternoon, as he was about to pack up and call it a day, a young woman approached his cart. She moved with determination, her steps splashing in the puddles that had formed on the pavement. She was drenched, her umbrella struggling against the wind. Her hair clung to her face and her clothes were soaked through. Despite the miserable weather, there was a spark of hope in her eyes as she neared the cart.
"Don't tell me you're closing up," she said, her voice laced with disappointment. Her eyes scanned the nearly empty cart, and she bit her lip, clearly hoping for a different answer. "I was really craving your strawberry cheesecake ice cream. It's the best in the city, and I walked all the way here just to get some."
Jack hesitated, then smiled. He could see the genuine longing in her eyes, and he didn't have the heart to turn her away. Despite the rain and the cold, he felt a warmth spread through him. "Jack, for you," he said. "I'll stay open a little longer." He quickly scooped out a generous portion of the strawberry cheesecake ice cream and handed it to her, watching as her face lit up with joy. He served her the ice cream, watching as she savored every bite, a look of pure bliss on her face. The rain continued to fall, but for a moment it felt like the sun had come out just for them. That day he barely made any money, but the woman's genuine appreciation warmed him more than any sunshine ever could. It was a small act of kindness, but it made a world of difference to both of them. It was a reminder that even on the gloomiest days, a small act of kindness could make a world of difference. Jack realized that sometimes it's not about the money or the number of customers, but about the connections we make and the joy we bring to others. As the rain continued to fall, Jack felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that there would be more rainy days ahead, but he also knew that he could make a difference, one scoop of ice cream at a time. And that thought brought a smile to his face, even on the rainiest of days. Section 7. Sweet Success. Months flew by, each one better than the last. The seasons changed, painting the park in different hues, but one thing remained constant: Jack's ice cream cart. It stood as a symbol of joy and indulgence, a small but significant part of the community. Jack's ice cream cart was now a familiar sight in the park, a beacon of sweet treats and friendly service. Families, couples, and children would flock to his cart, their faces lighting up at the sight of their favorite flavors. Jack knew most of his customers by name, and they knew him as the cheerful vendor who always had a smile and a kind word. His business flourished, his customer base growing steadily. Word of mouth spread like wildfire, and soon people from neighboring areas started visiting the park just to get a taste of Jack's famous ice cream. The lines grew longer and the buzz around his cart became louder. He upgraded his cart, bought a bigger freezer, expanded his menu. New flavors, toppings, and even dairy-free options were added, catering to a wider audience. Jack took pride in his work, always experimenting with new recipes and ensuring the quality of his products. He hired a high school student to help him during peak hours. The young assistant, eager to learn and earn, quickly became an integral part of the operation. Together, they managed the rush, served the customers, and kept the cart running smoothly. His days were long and tiring, but he wouldn't have it any other way. Each day brought new challenges and rewards, and Jack embraced them all. The satisfaction of seeing happy customers and the sense of accomplishment at the end of a busy day made it all worthwhile. He was living his dream. The journey had been tough, but every step had been worth it. Jack often reflected on how far he had come, from a struggling individual to a successful business owner. The park, once just a place to sell ice cream, had become a second home. One evening, as he was closing up, counting his earnings, he realized he had reached a milestone. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the park, and Jack felt a deep sense of gratitude. He had saved $500,000. $500,000. The number seemed surreal, a testament to his hard work and dedication. He had saved $500,000. $500,000. The number seemed surreal. It was a moment of triumph, a validation of all the effort he had put in. Jack felt a mix of disbelief and pride, knowing that he had achieved something remarkable. He had gone from sleeping on the streets to becoming a successful entrepreneur. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with obstacles and setbacks, but Jack had persevered. His story was one of resilience, determination, and the unwavering belief that he could turn his life around. His journey was a testament to the power of hard work, perseverance, and the kindness of strangers. The community had played a crucial role in his success, offering support, encouragement, and patronage. Jack knew that he couldn't have done it alone, and he was grateful for every helping hand along the way. Now, Jack was determined to give back. He started participating in community events, offering free ice cream at local charity functions, and mentoring young entrepreneurs. His success was not just his own, it was a shared victory, and he wanted to pay it forward. As he celebrated his milestone with friends and family, Jack felt a profound sense of fulfillment. His journey had come full circle, and he was ready for the next chapter. The future was bright, and Jack knew that with hard work and a little bit of sweetness, anything was possible. Section 8. Paying it forward. Jack's success didn't change him. He remained the same humble, hard-working man, always willing to lend a helping hand. He remembered where he came from, the struggles he had faced. He started a foundation to help homeless individuals get back on their feet. He provided food, shelter, and job training, giving them the tools and support they needed to rebuild their lives. He visited homeless shelters, sharing his story, offering words of encouragement. He wanted them to know that their current situation didn't define them, that they too could overcome adversity and achieve their dreams. Section 9. The Power Within. Jack's journey is an inspiration to us all. It reminds us that no matter how dark our circumstances may seem, we all possess the inner strength to overcome adversity and achieve greatness. It teaches us that even small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, inspiring hope and changing lives. It reminds us that success is not measured solely by material possessions, but by the impact we make on the world around us. So the next time you're facing a challenge, remember Jack's story. Believe in yourself, persevere through the tough times, and never underestimate the power of kindness. Your own journey to success might be just around the corner.